Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. During this year's ILW, I had the first time that CIG retired a ship from active sale and replaced it with a Mark II. I'm not really bothered by this. After all, products evolve in the real world. Why wouldn't they evolve in the verse? We even already had a preview of that reality with the Zeus Mark II. But anyhow, what other ships could use a Mark II, and what would their Mark II versions add or change? Here are my thoughts about them. First, the Aurora. For the Aurora, I would have the Mark II versions have the fins on the side be able to swing out to give better handling in atmosphere. I would have the upper wings swing out about 60 degrees and the lower wings swing out about 30 degrees, giving it an edgy delta wing biplane look that would be quite unique. Next, the Mustang. For the Mustang, I would make the cargo box be able to swing down flat, be more open on the sides, and have a genuine cargo grid on it so that single and double-sized standard crates could easily be snapped precisely in place and fit. I would get rid of the top surface of the cargo grid or have it fold up so it'd be easier to walk in and retrieve small items rather than having to crawl to retrieve small boxes. Then the 300 series, I would have similar comments on that for the Mark II, but also I would like to have a limousine variant of the 300 with some business class seats in the back for when passenger transport becomes a career in the game. The Freelancers. The Freelancer would need a major rework. Get rid of that impossible-to-load midsection with its 12 SCU and instead make the main cargo bay and the ship itself taller so that the main cargo bay can stack two 32 SCU containers, one on top of the other, plus 4 2 SCU containers at the end. Use the space gained from eliminating that mid-bay to create a real airlock with a standard side-facing circular docking port, plus suit and weapon storage. Change the tail turret to a remote turret and add a tractor beam on an extendable arm. The Freelancer Max would be the same, but twice as wide, of course. And then add a Freelancer Min that only has seats and crew accommodations for 2, only 48 SCU in 224s stacked, and then can fit on extra small hangars. The Cutlass. For the Cutlass, I would make the turret a remote turret and then add a toilet shower combination in the freed up floor space. The Avengers. For the Avengers, also add a toilet shower combo in the crew area. Now the Starfarers. The Starfarers completely reworked the circulation areas of the ship, which have always been a nightmare. Replace the long stairways with ladders and then use the extra space to create lifts that can visit all 3 decks of the ship and have one of those also be able to visit the ground. Also replace the downward-facing docking port with a full-size rectangular side-facing docking port. The Caterpillar. For the Caterpillar, just give us the modularity and a selection of interesting modules. In addition, I would give one of the nose modules for the Caterpillar a full-size rectangular docking port. The Terrapin. I've already in an earlier video, from 2 years ago in fact, speculated on the Terrapin Mark II. I gave it 2 beds instead of 1 and more space for suit storage and weapon storage and a small cargo grid bay so they could be more of a well-rounded exploration ship. A thing that you could not simply go and find a cave, but land, explore, and retrieve things. The StarRunner. Change that silly half lift with a stair and then add a secret hatch from the crawl space that can access the landing gear well so that you really can sneak in and out of it while the ship is landed. This keeps with the whole secret passageway vibe that the ship is supposed to be giving. The ROC and ROC DS. The ROC Mark II simply adds interchangeable heads, and not simply interchangeable mining heads, but also an interchangeable tractor head for loading and an interchangeable salvage head for hull stripping. In addition, the ROC Mark II would have a stretch version that added a 3rd set of wheels and a full 1 SCU capacity. On the other hand, the ROC DS Mark II becomes something more akin to the Ursa than the ROC, 2-seat tandem cabin with 2 large remote arms behind it that can each independently mount salvage, mining, or tractor beams. There's a large internal storage and then a hopper like the Prospector, except that it ejects the containers out of the rear of the vehicle entirely. The Raft. The Raft Mark II would fully use the cargo grid technology rather than the physical arms on the current design. That would allow the containers to be packed more closely and, I think, allow 4 32 SCU containers to be held on a slightly elongated bed instead of 3. That would also make it easier to hold other arrangements of smaller boxes. The Raft always seemed to have a lot of bulk for just 96 SCU of cargo, so upping it to 128 feels more proportional to me. Now for an update on our giveaways. We have a special membership to help cover costs to have the channel have live CitizenCon coverage with its own giveaway for Hull C. And yes, I will be giving away that colossal cargo container carrying craft even if our live CitizenCon coverage has to be remote. Plus, the regular Grow the Channel ship giveaways for giving some lucky player the Zippy Zazzy Zaftig Zephyr, the Zeus 2 cargo, which we are right at the membership goal and closing in on the subscriber goal. Then after that, of course, the marvelous multiplayer multi-use mining meta, the Arasta. One entry per video, just be a member for automatic entry or subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is any of the ships that I thought would benefit from a Mark II version. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.